Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Jack Vale Show with
Madysyn.
We're so glad that you're listening, watching. We really appreciate it. So we started like halfway through having this conversation about the furries. We may as well finish it.
Should I reiterate what I just said?
Yes, please.
Okay, guys, I saw a video where this girl was like, so I'm a furry and I want to talk to you about how I communicate with my friends. And she was like, so basically when we're really excited about something or really happy, we'll let out a little meow. And when we're really like angry, but we can't put it into words, we'll go meow. And that'll let each other know how we're feeling.
I can't believe that's a thing. I've been hearing about this. Is this happening like all over the country?
I have no idea. But of course it's like on social media.
Yeah.
Like that was on my TikTok For You page and I was like,
wow.
Why?
That just blows my mind. So I heard
that.
Yeah. I heard a story that it's gotten so insane that like some of them actually are demanding. You can tell me if you've heard this or if it's true or not.
Okay.
But I think it's true that some of them are demanding litter boxes in the bathrooms at the public school.
You're kidding.
School. No, I'm serious.
Where did you hear that?
Well, in these days you're supposed to be accepting of everything. Everything's all inclusive. So if you want to be, these furries is a real thing, and so therefore, if it's a legitimate thing that you have to refer to somebody as a cat, because teachers I heard are getting in trouble for not referring to some of their students as a furry or kitten or cat or whatever. Yeah. And so they're taking it to the next level and saying, we demand that you place litter boxes. Yeah. Could you imagine being the janitor of the school, hired to clean the bathrooms?
Oh, that poor guy.
I know, but it's a real thing from what I understand. Are these?
I don't think that there's enough of them to actually follow through with that.
Well, I don't know. It seems like once something starts a certain, then pretty soon it expands.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, let's say you're a diehard cat lover. Okay, mm-hmm. You're a lover of cats. You love cats.
Yes.
And you love cats so much that you find out that there are people who pretend to be cats. And this isn't make-believe when you're 4. This is like legitimate. You think you're a cat or you want to be a cat. And so now you see that as an option for yourself. You're like, I could be a cat, right?
That sounds good.
And so if you're doing that, then that would grow. That would expand, right? More people would jump on board and be like, I want to be, what's it called? A furry?
A furry.
I want to be a furry. We could be a furry. Let's be a furry.
There's definitely people who are like that's, but I just don't think the percentage is that much. I think it's just on the internet, and so like that's what you see when you like look on your phone or whatever, and you're like, oh, this exists, and I'm seeing it, so other people probably are, and there's probably like all the, but it's really, I don't think it's that many people. I'm imagining.
You're one of 5, by the way, 5 siblings. 4, you have 4 siblings. Well, I have 5 kids. And I'm imagining what all of them might be instead of a furry. Like if it wasn't a cat, like what would be another animal? What would be an animal that you would choose?
If I was a furry?
Suppose you just had to be some kind of an animal, but you didn't want to be a cat. What would you be?
Well, my favorite animal is a brown bear, but I don't think I would be one because I don't feel like one.
You don't feel like a brown bear?
I don't resonate. But I think maybe, the little guy from Madagascar, Mort?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, him. I don't know what he is. He's some like little creature, and I think he's really funny. And
you would be that maybe?
Yeah.
No, you would.
He's like, yeah.
If you had to be one.
I think it's some kind of like lemur.
Okay.
Thing.
So why did the furries thing start with cats? I don't understand. Like why did it just happen to be a cat? Does it open the door for like all these other Jake, okay, could probably be
alligator.
You think alligator for Jake?
You were gonna
say alligator?
No way.
I would have said sloth.
That's funny.
Hey, maybe half alligator, half sloth. You can be like a slaligator.
Oh my gosh.
Or a goth, but there's no, it wouldn't be goth because alligator. Wait, that was stupid. That didn't work either. Alley-off.
Yeah.
Or something. I think it's ridiculous. And we're not here to talk about furries today.
Yeah, maybe we are.
And maybe we are. It is a really interesting, topic.
It is.
What's kind of funny though is and you could say this is controversial, it's not, whatever, but we're just going to talk about it anyway, since we're on the topic. So we're in a day and age now where you can kind of like pretend to be anything. But for years ago, would be way before man is a man, a woman a man. You know, it's confusing, and what do you say, and pronouns and all this kind of stuff. There was something else that was going on. It was the very, very beginning of all of everything that we see today. The very, very beginning. I'm talking like, you know, maybe 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. Okay, and you're starting to see some of these things in the direction that everything's going. And we were all telling each other the whole time, we're like, just wait. Pretty soon, people are going to expect you to be called, you know, that you're going to have to refer to people as whatever they want to be. What about a cat? What about a dog? And I said, that's stupid. That's another species. Nobody's going to do that. Here we are. Welcome to furry land where everybody's a kitten in school. It's ridiculous. This really is happening like this.
Yeah.
So it's a little much, man. And then I think about I think about Grandma Vale. Mm-hmm. My mother, if she saw, she like avoided, I think, some of the stuff because she died a couple of years ago, and I wonder like what, or Pops, your grandpa, you know, your mom's dad. It's so, they must be just going, oh my gosh. Well, no, they're not. They're not no longer here. But anyways, what we actually were going to talk about was social media.
Yeah.
Specifically, followers. When I started YouTube and then Facebook came after that, but when I started YouTube, the holy grail of YouTube was subscribers. It was all about the subscribers. Mm-hmm. And subscribers meant that it always correlated with, you know, that's how popular you were based on subscribers. Then pretty soon people were buying subscribers, and they were fake, you know, and you could tell that they were fake. But it was all about the subscribers, and Facebook's all about the followers. And it's kind of like having your own cult.
Yeah, I guess.
You have your own cult, right?
I mean, the big like celebrities definitely do.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I guess there are I guess so for everybody.
You've got this core group of fans that like pretty much will do what you tell them to do.
Yeah,
right?
Some of them go crazy.
I don't think I really had that.
You don't have any crazy ones?
Well, crazy, yes, but not the ones who will like, you know, that if you say something, they'll all do it.
Oh,
Some people have those. Those are probably maybe the Kardashians, maybe.
Yeah.
Have fans like that, you know? I never really had that because my videos were they never really allowed people to get to know me that much. Every once in a while, I might look at the camera, say something. For the most part, I turn the camera on, go do a prank video in a store, and then that's the end of the video. Right. So you don't really get to know me. You're just laughing at the reactions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you're different because you sort of got to develop a following and grow a following right in front of the camera singing, and so people probably feel like they could connect with you.
Yeah, that's true. Especially doing like little interviews and when I was vlogging for a minute and stuff like that, like and on my Instagram. But
did you ever feel like it was a cult?
No.
You never felt like a cult leader?
No.
Not. Go ahead.
I never felt like a cult leader ever, but it was weird being so young and getting like fan mail and stuff like that. I remember getting like gifts and letters, and I was like, wow, I can't believe this person who's never met me like cares about me. That's crazy. Like,
yeah. And you know what I don't like is I would get, being your dad, I would get emails too.
Oh yeah.
People would get to me to try to get to you.
Scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is innocent also. A lot of it is like, oh, I look up to this person so much. Like, I just want to like autograph, or I want to like, you know.
Yeah. And some of it is wonderful to meet you, Mr. Vale. Would you mind if I take your daughter on a date? And they're in Taiwan or you know, some other, like, it's really weird how bold people get when they try to like contact the father to get to the daughter. Like, who does
like
that?
That would work.
Like, that's absolutely insane. When I was a kid, if there was a girl that I had a crush on, some celebrity girl or something like that, could you imagine reaching out to the dad of the girl and be like, hey, sir, would you mind if I, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So I just delete those.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like a cult. If you think about it, because I mean, you just need this core group of like fans and followers and stuff like that, right? To kind of be that.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Do what?
Start a cult.
Oh, yeah, sure. What would you call it?
I'll have to think about
Okay,
that. I
get
don't know.
back
We'll
to
have
me
to.
because I'm really interested in this.
Yeah, I really will. Not to be confused with the occult, because sometimes people do. If you say it fast, people go, "What is he talking about? The occult? He said Satanism?" And
What? I
but
have
the
no clue
occult.
what you're talking about.
Really?
The occult?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Well,
Is that like a certain cult that like everyone knows about? Or is this a word?
No,
a cult.
well, the occult.
But you just said something
is,
about Satan out of nowhere. So I
yeah,
was like, what
that
are you
wasn't out
talking
of
about?
nowhere. It was correlated. It was tied into the occult. The occult is demonic.
See,
you know,
this is what I
the
didn't know.
Occult. The a cult, CULT, could be just
Any common cult.
technically. It could just be any, you drank the Kool-Aid and whatever, like there's all kinds of stories about all this kind of stuff. You still don't know what I'm talking about.
The Kool-Aid? You're just bringing out random words. I don't understand. What does Kool-Aid have to do with anything we're talking about? Am I being stupid?
No, you're not being stupid. You're young and that's okay.
I'm not following.
So there's this whole Jim Jones thing.
Yeah, right. Jim
That
Jones,
was
know him.
You still don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. We really, I don't want to go down this rabbit trail like too deeply because it could get into some really, really serious stuff.
Okay.
But basically, there's a lot of cults over the years of these like religious groups
Okay.
that would form, and then they'd have a cult leader.
Yes.
Oh, good example. On
That one show?
Waco.
Yes.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yes, that's what I was thinking
Did you
of.
watch it?
I did. I don't know if I finished it, but I did watch it.
Oh, you have to finish it. It's incredible. So that show actually got big on Paramount, I believe, was the network that actually aired it originally. It's a true story about Waco, Texas. David Koresh, the cult leader. It's weird that we're going all over the place here, but anyways. And it did really well for the network, and then later, it showed up on Netflix. They cut a deal with Netflix, and it started streaming on Netflix. That's when it got really, really big. And so people became aware of this cult in Waco, Texas. Incredible story, by the way. And I lived through it. I was a kid when this happened.
While it was happening?
Yeah, and it was in the news. It was crazy. And the people were pretty messed up, make no doubt about it. But the government... far more messed up. I mean, what they did to those people is unbelievable. Anyways, long story short, it was an example of a cult, which was basically one guy who decided he's the leader, and he started to brainwash these people, and he developed this whole family of like, they would like die for each other, And there's been these other examples where like they'd all be poisoned. And then you'd find out in the news, like 30 people died in a house today, and it was all because they did it for the greater good or the cause or whatever.
Right.
The Kool-Aid, I don't remember if that was actually true or if that's just I think it was. I think they had like a drink that everybody had to drink, and so that's where the saying came from.
Oh,
Anyways.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
when drank the Kool-Aid means,
Got it.
yeah, you're part of a cult.
Okay.
Or you believe something. That's kind of weird. Anyways, you know what? That's probably why I did I did a TV show. I developed a TV show. I talk about this all the time. I'm very proud of it. With Peter Farrelly from the Farrelly brothers. Maddie?
I know Peter Farrelly. Yes.
Okay, well, you looked at me like with deer in headlights.
I'm thinking about the show.
So I had an idea for a show with Christian.
Yes.
Be safe.
Yeah.
And we developed this idea where we were cult leaders. And we thought,
I think I remember this.
okay, so we had an idea. It was going to be called The Flock. And I called Peter Farrelly. I'm like, I got a great idea for a show. Peter Farrelly, by the way, directed Green Book a few years ago. Academy Award winning. Excellent movie, right?
Yes.
Green Book. And by the way, who would have thought the Farrelly brothers who did Dumb and Dumber, Shallow Hal, I mean, iconic comedic, Me, Myself, and Irene back in the day.
Yeah.
And what's the other? Something About Mary, too. That was the other one. Anyways, that he would then do a movie based on a true story called Green Book that would
so different.
get so much critical acclaim.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie, by the way. But anyway, so we called him and had this idea for a show, and he actually changed the name of the show. I don't know if I can make that completely public or not, but he changed the name from The Flock because of feedback that he got from like the network. But we sold that TV show to Fox. The whole thing was based around the fact that a couple of idiots accidentally found themselves cult leaders.
Yes, right.
Because of a social media misunderstanding. And gosh, that was so much fun. I think some of the inspiration from that probably came from having followers, being on social media, like that whole thing. And then also the church world, because you're in a group of believers, right? And I was raised Christian and in church and stuff like that. Christian Bucet, same deal, right? He was this Mormon guy who understood organized religion in a sense, right? So probably some of the inspiration came from that. Anyways, I'm blabbing.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
Right.
I can tell you you wanted to say something.
I've been waiting this whole time.
I know. You're just waiting for the right moment, and I'm giving you that moment, so go
Thanks.
ahead. Yep.
So what I wanted to say was...
Anyways, do you feel like you got those fans, those followers that will do what you say to do, or no?
No. I mean, I have a lot of great like supporters of my music and stuff who and I try to like respond to as many people as I can too, because I don't know, I think it's so cool that there's people out there that like actually want to listen to me and stuff like that. But I don't think that I could just be like, hey guys, I just created this makeup company, go buy my stuff, and then it would like sell out everywhere. Like a lot of artists and people out there can do. But I'm also like not at that caliber to do that. So
do you aspire to do that? Do you want to create makeup or clothes or?
Not really. I do want to put out merch. I think that would be really fun. But I don't really aspire to be at that level of fame anyways.
Well, it might just happen.
And if it does, then it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, then it's also meant to be.
I want to do merch. I've never been good at that.
Really?
Yeah. Because what are you going to do?
Well, I think your brand has a lot of potential for merch.
Well, thank you. I don't know. What would it be? I made a hat for your mother that says, I love Jack Vale. And beyond that, I really don't know. Like, are people going to wear a shirt that says Jack Vale? That's a little bit, no, probably not.
Well, you could make a shirt that says like one of your famous like nonsense phrases.
Yeah.
And people would buy that because that's hilarious, and no one will know what it means, and then people will ask about it. What is your shirt? Like, what is that? And then people,
why does your shirt say piddle on a cow fat?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. I don't get the reference. You got to watch Jack Vale to understand.
Exactly.
It's a whole advertising technique, you know. I've always wanted to make a shirt that says Jack. I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, because let me tell you what I would say first of all, and then I'll explain it to you. Jack Vale. I was farted on by Jack Vale, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get that?
Yes.
Those things were really big when I was a kid. Like, I ran the whatever marathon, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. And so I thought that might be kind of fun.
That would be. Like, and actually give them out to people you prank.
Sure, but then also
And
sell
then
it
sell
too.
them too, yeah.
Have them in the store too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the whole followers thing is kind of weird, you know. Because on YouTube, you know, I have 1 million something, 1.5 million or something subscribers, and on Facebook I have 3.3 million followers. I think on Facebook maybe. But you can't ever really tell in the viewership.
Like,
because
follower to like ratio?
Yeah, theoretically, if you have 1 million fans, and when you put up a video, those fans should see it and you should have 1 million views, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way.
I know. Well, my stuff is the same way. It's like my engagement is terrible.
Yeah.
But I think it's also because I've had my my Instagram and Facebook up since I was like 12, when that one video went viral that you posted of me.
Yeah.
And so it's like all these years later, and I was also very inconsistent with it. And I don't know. I feel like it had a lot of potential, and I kind of have been like not using it properly. But I also think I have a bunch of followers from when I was younger that just aren't engaged anymore because like they're old accounts or like they don't use it or, you know, stuff like that.
If you want to get more engagement, I suggest you become a furry.
That would probably help.
That would help a ton, I'm telling you.
No one would see it coming.
No, I'd be like, hey guys.
Is that what I sound like?
From now on, I would appreciate it if you'd refer to me as meow.
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. That's the other thing. I've always been like, it really is irritating to me how many there are. It's very overwhelming to me in my brain. There's so many platforms.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with all of
either.
it. So I've kind of stuck with YouTube and Facebook as my main ones because apparently I'm old. And everybody tells me Instagram is like the number one thing right now.
Right.
Or TikTok, I guess.
TikTok and Instagram, yeah. But TikTok is first, definitely.
TikTok is first, definitely.
I mean, people are getting careers from posting a TikTok video.
Is it bad? Isn't it bad to spend so much time on that stuff?
It's terrible for you. My attention span is so much worse. And I've really noticed it. Like, it's so bad. And I try to take breaks from my phone and like from the app and stuff because it's just constant like hits of like dopamine. Like,
Yes.
And there's endless amounts of videos and you're just like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like watching a movie and that's not holding my attention span anymore. And I'm like, oh, I need a break from my movie. Why do I need a break from my movie? That makes no sense. To like go on social media is terrible.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Like I don't know. Sometimes I can't sit through like a YouTube video. I'm like skipping constantly now.
Wow. So TikTok has actually worked. Wow. So because the videos are so short.
Yeah.
So the expectation of people who are watching are like they can only handle, and then they got to go to the next and next.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. I talked to a child psychiatrist recently, and this guy, I was buying something from him on Facebook Marketplace, and I was trying to reach out to him, and we went back and forth, and his level of communication was phenomenal. He was like got right back to me immediately. I could see that he read my message, and so we would go back and forth on like, you know, these items that he had for sale, and I was so excited, and I was gonna go pick it up. It was actually this diner right here, by the way.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one time I sent him a message. I was trying to get this thing arranged where we were gonna go pick it up from Atlanta, and I had a really tough time getting a hold of him, and he just stopped communicating with me, and it felt like an eternity. It was only one day, and actually, he responded in the morning, but then didn't respond again until all the way at night. And I kept writing to him because I was trying to make these arrangements. And finally, at the very end of the day, he responds back and he goes, "I'm sorry, I was taking my weekly 1-day dopamine fast."
Very smart.
That's what I thought. I immediately was not irritated.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's a great idea because I've heard about this. I know about this. What would it be like even from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 p.m., just that bracket of time, put your phone down, don't care who calls, whoever it is can wait, I'm just going to hold tight.
Yep.
He did it on I think a Sunday.
Okay.
And I thought, man, what a healthy thing to do, because I realized sometimes it's so bad. Your mother will grab my phone to look at something or have to do something with my phone. And the minute I hand over my phone, I find myself going, where's my phone? Like right away. It's like I'm some weirdo.
Yeah. Everyone is addicted.
Yeah.
It really is
so
an addiction.
dependent on it.
Yeah. Very dependent. I hate it. I just don't like the feeling. I don't like the feeling of being dependent on anyone or anything. And so it really frustrates me.
I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man.
That's not what I meant by that, but you know, that's just, I don't know. That's just my personality. I don't like it. And so I just hate that I'm addicted to my phone.
Well, someday when you get married, your husband will become dependent on you, giving him directions everywhere you go.
Is that a thing?
That's just the way it goes. You have to accept that fact the moment you get married. Micah, Jake, no, not yet. Chris, I'm telling you, you get married and then boom, there's your directions. Everywhere you need to go, that's it. And it doesn't matter if you screw it up. If she tells you the wrong way to go and you go the wrong way and everything gets screwed up, it's still not going to be her fault because she'll never take responsibility for it. It'll be something, well, you didn't do it when I said to do it.
Well, you didn't probably.
It is true. I do think we're spending way too much time on the internet, but what are you going to do? I mean,
especially
on like screen
with
time.
like a career like yours or like mine.
Well, it's true, but I think sometimes I use that excuse as an excuse to just be on my phone all the time.
Yeah.
Because it is true. Like I'm always looking at stuff and finding out like what if I miss something that's important and related to my job. But the truth is, you know, maybe that's 25% of my stuff. You know, like honestly, price 75 or more is on stupid things.
Okay.
Because you get addicted to stupid things like Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there and they're selling stuff. And there's a lot of good stuff. And if they do the pictures right and it's bright, you're like, oh, I need that. I never thought I would need a bowling bag with no ball. But this is a nice bowling bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really true. I gotta work on that for sure. The whole phone thing. When I was a kid, not a kid. I say a kid, and I'm literally older than you. Oh. But when I was, you know, I've told you all my stories about going to LA and everything like that. But I remember I was in a new environment, and I had to like get around town. Oh my gosh, you had to buy something called a Thomas Guide.
Okay.
You ever heard of that? A Thomas Guide was a book that you had to go to Barnes & Noble to buy. And it was basically a map on steroids. This was a book this thick that was in a binder. And you'd buy it you could get them for wherever you were. So you'd get the Los Angeles Thomas Guide, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had to be on set or whatever for different things. And so you would go, what's the address? And they would give you the address, you'd write it down, and then you'd have to look up the address, find the page number where the map is, then you go over to the thing. So you could not leave the house. In fact, casting agencies and stuff would always tell me, make sure you have your Thomas Guide. You had to have a Thomas Guide in your car.
Yeah.
Because then you couldn't do that while you're driving, though.
Right.
You did anyway. You put it in the thing and you're flipping pages. Talk about dangerous. Now you get in trouble. You get a ticket for picking up your phone. Imagine having a Thomas Guide. You got to flip through the pages while you're driving, right?
Yeah.
So you'd have to pull over, and then you'd have to find your thing and look at the thing and go, oh, I do here, and then I'm going to make a right, and then you got to type, but you couldn't because phones didn't happen. So you had to write with a pen. A pen is those things that you.
Oh my gosh.
You know what a pen is. Sorry, and paper, and you'd have to, or a pencil. People would use a pencil. Which you'd have to sharpen every once in a while. Right. And then you'd write out your directions, and then you would have something to go to, and you'd look at the directions as you were driving, which was also dangerous.
So did they give you more grace for being late? Because now I feel like no excuse. Like you can get whatever you want anytime with your phone, and it will tell you what time you're gonna get there.
It's true. Now you have to say things that everybody knows is a lie. They already know it's a lie. My phone. I don't know what happened. Like nothing ever happens to anybody else's phone when they want to get to someplace, like when they're supposed to be there. But when you screw up, I don't know what happened to my phone. This day and age, weird. It's very, very weird. That did happen to me one time, though. I lost a job. I was going to be in a McDonald's commercial.
Oh?
And it was a good gig.
That sounds like a good gig.
It would have paid me a lot of money.
But you didn't show up or what?
2 hours late. 2 hours.
Man.
And it was out in the middle of nowhere, and you weren't driving to a McDonald's for the commercial.
Oh.
You were driving to a building that they built at some like McDonald's headquarters.
Oh, okay.
That looked like a McDonald's on the inside, not on the outside. So when you went in, they had a McDonald's set there. And I totally screwed up, and traffic was bad, and I didn't take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But now you got multiple apps. You can get around the main directions, and you can take back roads and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You've never really been like that. You've never like felt
what?
the need to stay on the screen all the time.
No, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate social media.
Yeah.
I wouldn't if I wasn't. It's just like being an artist nowadays, you have to, like, labels are going to ask you, how many followers do you have? Like this
Right.
and that. Like it didn't used to be like that, but now it's so relevant. And that's a lot of times like all that matters. Like you could have no musical ability at all, but if you have the platform, like if you have like 1 million followers and your engagement is high, then put out a single and it'll do amazing. But you don't have to be a good singer. There's autotune. It's terrible.
Yeah. Do any of your friends like feel the same way?
Yeah, Bree, she's like my best friend and my roommate. She feels the exact same. She's a musician as well. But she's like been trying to get TikTok famous and like posting regularly. And I don't know what it is, but there's like something where it just like happens for some people, like so easy. You post like one video and then you're getting picked up by labels and your stuff is everywhere. And
Is it an accident, or do you like just the luck of the draw, or do you think there's talent behind it or something unique? Or
I mean,
what?
there's definitely talent behind a lot of people, but I also know a lot of people who have no talent, but are still like doing amazing.
Can you go ahead and name some of those people?
Well, no, I won't do that. I was like, well, no, but I mean, when I first started out doing Musically, when TikTok was Musically, I was doing really well on there, and I remember other people like just starting out, and now like one girl in particular just got famous for like lip syncing and being pretty, and she is gorgeous. But now she thinks she's a singer, right? And so she's like putting music out, and it's just it's not good at all.
And what is her name so people can look her up?
I don't know her at all personally. She's probably
No,
a
but
very
I mean
nice
her
girl.
username. What's her username?
I can't.
I could, do you know how much I can relate to that? I mean, on a different level, because I'm in the days of YouTube mainly. I haven't quite made the crossover. I do have a TikTok that's verified or whatever, but
Yeah.
I hardly ever use it.
But you could, because sometimes
I
your
could.
videos, like your style, other people do, and they go viral too.
Oh, sometimes people upload my actual videos
Yeah.
to their stupid TikToks, and they go insanely viral.
Yep.
100 million views.
Yep.
No credit to me, except my face is on it.
Yeah, and sometimes
I'm the
in
one doing it.
comments, people are like, "Oh, that's Jack Vale."
Yeah, thanks. I'm over here. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But I can relate to what you're saying because on YouTube, it's the same. Because ever since the beginning, you had this, we've talked about this all the time, actually. It's a free-for-all. Everybody, you gave a public platform to everybody in the world. What do you expect? This is not like a place that's just full of ripe talent, just budding. No. It's all furries. Right? It's all this weird, like, what happened? It's YouTube and social media in general that created a bunch of furries. It is, because everybody's speaking out about all these insane, crazy ideas.
I feel like, haven't furries been around for longer than social media?
Huh?
I feel like that's been a thing longer than social media.
Furries?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like people like cosplay.
Longer
people,
than
like,
social
dressing
media?
up in like animal costumes.
No, that's totally different.
What?
That's totally different.
That's different.
You're talking about cosplay. These people, for the most part, understand that they're not actually Captain Kirk from Star Trek.
Okay.
They're just dressing up like Captain Kirk.
Right.
And they're going to a convention or a show, and they're meeting Spock, and there's like 50 other Spocks. They know they're not really Spock.
Okay.
Do you even know who these people are that I'm mentioning?
I don't.
From
I've never
Star Trek?
I haven't seen a lot of movies, and Star Trek is one of them.
We could have probably done Harry Potter or
Never
Lord of
saw
the
Harry
Rings or any.
Potter.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see. I haven't seen it either, believe it or not. But the point is,
I know what you mean.
Let's say Spider-Man. Do you know who Spider-Man is?
Absolutely, love him.
Okay, so you love him.
Yes.
I do
great
too.
movie.
I do
Probably my
too.
favorite superhero.
Jackson's favorite too.
Yeah.
So when you go to these things and you see them, you typically understand that you're there with like-minded people that are there because you love the same show, you love the same stuff. So there might be a cat convention that you could go to and dress up like Garfield. It doesn't mean you think you're him.
But some of them probably did. That's what I'm saying. Like,
You
it's
think
not like
so?
this is. Honestly, I don't think anything is brand new. The world has been here for millions of years. I don't think that. Don't look at me like that. The world has been here for millions of years. Thank you very much. And I
That
think
part
that
I agree with.
Oh.
Well, no, sort of, maybe. Wait a second. Maybe it's been here for millions of years. Maybe
That's-
not.
Okay. But I
You
think
say okay as if I just said something absurd.
that is absurd.
How is it absurd?
That's crazy. Like, read a science book.
You have
Were you in school? Well, you dropped out.
read
of
a
high
science
school.
book? No thanks. So they can lie to you? Look around.
People
There's
dedicate
no
their
way.
lives to learning
People
about the world.
people dedicated their lives to Hitler's cause. That doesn't necessarily mean because people dedicate their lives to something doesn't mean that it's right.
Compared Hitler to scientists.
I didn't compare Hitler to science. I'm making scientists. I'm making a comparison saying that there are people who dedicate their lives to certain things that probably they shouldn't. That wasn't for a good cause.
So, whoa.
There's lots of. Would you agree that there's a lot of bad people out there, a lot of evil going on?
Absolutely.
Okay, they dedicated their lives. Sometimes look at Ted Bundy. Crazy, right? The stuff that guy did.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that go read a Ted Bundy book.
Oh
and,
my
and,
gosh.
And learn. Well, I'm just
What
saying.
about? Never mind. Listen.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, back to my original point. The world has been here for millions of years. I don't think anything is brand new. Like, speaking about like stuff like this, like I'm sure people have wanted to have felt like a cat and wanted to be a cat, but society would have not accepted it, and so they had to keep it inside. And I don't know why you're shaking your head, but because honestly what I'm saying is not that crazy. People probably have felt that, but now in today's society, very accepting. And of course, if society's going to accept you for whatever you want to be, then just be it, whatever. It's not my problem. You can do whatever you want.
I agree that you can do whatever you want. I don't necessarily want to feel pressure to refer to somebody as a furry.
Okay. But why would you feel pressured?
Because the furries that we were talking about earlier are sort of making demands on, I'm a cat. You will refer to me as a cat.
Yeah. But again,
litter boxes in the
when are
bathrooms.
you ever going to meet someone that asks that? Probably
when
never.
you're the janitor at a high school.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, it's already happening.
Litter boxes in bathrooms is
No,
not
seriously,
already
it's
happening.
already happening. It is.
No, you would have said that earlier. If
I
it was
did
happening.
say that earlier.
No,
That was.
You said they want it.
That
to happen,
really
but you
is
didn't.
happening.
You said that they're moving towards that, but
Oh no.
it's,
No, that
there's
is a
already
real
litter
thing.
box in a bathroom.
Yes. In
Williamson.
right here in Williamson County, there's litter boxes and not
I
in
don't know
all
what
of the bathrooms.
news y'all are reading, but
Try.
Williamson County News.
Yeah, that's right.
I need to do my own research.
I would always tell people, do your own research. That's what I tell everybody. Do your own research.
I will.
Don't believe this nonsense. It's coming at you from all sides. Whenever there's a collective opinion, there's always some underlining, let's get to the truth of the matter.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
It is important. I don't agree with the fact that as things are going on, that you're supposed to just believe what you're told and let that be the end of it.
Yeah.
Since when has it ever been a negative thing to do your own research? Never.
No.
Literally never. People would go to the library and they would dig in and they would find all kinds of stuff and develop their own opinion about things. This is the first time in history that you've ever been told, just believe it, don't ask any questions. It's a very weird time. I didn't grow up that way, but I'm telling you, this is the first, I've never seen anything like it today. So, and the furries thing, I don't know. I just think it's pretty much way over the line. Way over the line.
I don't like that.
And you don't have any furries?
Have any? Like of my own?
No. Friends who are furries. I'm sorry. I didn't mean, that's not what I meant. That's not how I meant it.
I don't think I could do it, honestly.
No, okay.
If I was like mad at her and then she was like, I would be like, can you just leave? I could not do that.
No.
I couldn't do that.
No, that would be crazy.
It would be hard to connect, I think.
Oh, I 100%.
If I met someone who was like, can you please refer to me as cat/kitty, I would.
You would what?
I would refer to them as cat.
Okay, now we're gonna be talking about this for a while.
Because if it was like, I don't know.
Oh, here we go. I know what that means. If we could all just go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear. I want to hear this.
Along.
Yeah.
Say like you're, I don't know, like in a grocery store, and you say you're making conversation with someone, and then you're like, "Yeah, man," or like, "Well, no, that's too."
No, that's fine, man. And it's not. If they're a cat, they're definitely not a man.
Yeah,
go ahead and finish your
point.
point.
But also, I would say "yeah, man" to like a girl too, like it's the same as like
true.
bro. Or
Yeah,
like,
me too. Me too. Yeah.
But if I was talking to someone in conversation or talking about them and they were there, and then I said something that made them uncomfortable
because they're a cat, and and you were assuming so far that they were a human. Go ahead.
Then I would say, "Oh yeah, I'll call you that, whatever."
No kidding. You would agree to the calling of the person as a cat.
I'm not saying I'm not saying it's. There's definitely something mentally wrong there.
Okay, so then my question is,
why enable it?
Yes.
Because
you're
that's
very smart,
none
by
of
the
my
way.
Business. I think if they want to take care of that on their own, if they want to like heal their inner child, go to a therapist, that's totally cool. Or if you want to like do your own, like embrace it, be your furry, do your own thing, totally cool too. None of it bothers me or interferes in my life.
Do you feel like you have limits to how far you would go? Like if somebody wanted to be called, for example, a child predator, would you refer to them as that? Well, out of respect for you, I'm going to, from now on, refer to you as you're given however you see yourself.
That's ridiculous.
I'm using an extreme example because, what if somebody said, I'm a demon? What if somebody said, I am... Would you do it no matter what, or would you have limits and go, wait a minute, now you're crazy?
Well,
when you said you were a cat, I was willing to oblige. But you're talking about elephants. I don't know what the heck's going on here.
I just couldn't see myself in that circumstance at all in my life. So everything I'm thinking is like theoretically, and I don't know where I would draw a line. All I know is that like if someone were like, can you, like, I refer to myself as a cat or as a demon or whatever, you're probably not going to connect with me, so we're probably not going to be friends. So I'm probably never going to have to speak to you again.
Yeah, would you say that?
But time being, I'll call you what you want.
For the time being.
Like,
tell you what, for now, during this conversation, I'm going to call you that. But when we walk away, we're never going to see each other again.
Right.
Okay, but here's the thing.
But if I was referring to that person to someone else, I would still say that. I would still be, oh yeah,
really?
Cat. And they would know like, oh, the furry you just met? Yeah. Because what else would I say?
Now you're telling me that not just would you refer to them as a cat to their face, but you would tell... When talking about that person to a friend, you would say, hey, you know that cat I just
Or maybe I would say,
yesterday?
you know that person that's a furry that wants to be a cat?
You would do that?
Well, if I'm describing the person, I have to describe them.
How about here's a description for you.
Okay.
You know that crazy person yesterday who thinks they're a cat?
Because I think that they're not crazy. I just think that they're hurt.
Okay.
Or like...
mentally unstable?
Yes.
Okay. You know that mental person that I met yesterday who thinks they're a cat? That's reasonable.
No, that's not, because I wouldn't use the word mental, because
I just said mentally unstable. You said yeah.
well, that may be, but you wouldn't. What if what if I have really bad anxiety, but you wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, my mentally ill daughter."
That's because like everybody has some level of something.
Of
but
course.
when somebody pretends to be a cat, you're in a whole other. That's not anything that most people can relate to.
Okay.
So wouldn't you just say that girl that I met, or that boy that I met, or that guy?
Well,
or
you
that,
would have no
that
idea
person,
who I'm talking about, though. That's the thing.
unless I met them. Unless I knew who
Right.
you.
So theoretically, I would say, "Oh yeah, I met this girl. She's a furry.
Well, you're
this cat,
Yeah, you're very sweet, and I know that you like the thing about you. I disagree. That's not how I would handle it. I want to be very
Okay.
clear.
That's fine.
However, you're very sweet. You've always been very sweet ever since I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, same.
And you've always been, I would probably say somewhat of a peacemaker. You're very sweet. You're very nice.
That's
There's nothing wrong with that.
My Enneagram. Do you know your Enneagram?
Enneagram? What's that?
There's 9 personality types, and so you're supposed to take the test to see like what personality type you are. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, but that's mine. I'm a 9, so peacemaker.
Which is peacemaker?
Yeah.
No way. Yeah, that's exactly how I describe you. Yeah.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So I'm reluctant to give you too much crap about whether or not you would refer to somebody as whatever they wanted. But there's got to be limits. Eventually there's got to be limits. If somebody said, I would appreciate it, if like going back to the elephant thing, for example, that might be a little, you know what I mean? If somebody came at you with and started like doing this.
You just have to giggle.
Huh?
You just have to giggle.
Yeah. You just have to giggle?
What else
You'd
would
laugh
you
at 'em?
do? No, I just mean like that's just funny.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like this big deal. That's like, I don't know. People seem to be really upset about things that don't affect them.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
You know what? I don't know what things are going to be like in 10 years, but right now things are pretty nuts. Right now things are pretty crazy.
But like go for a walk and don't watch the news for a day, and then you'll feel a lot better.
Oh, how long has this podcast gone on? That's the best thing to end with right there. Is it a half hour yet? We're talking go for a walk. Repeat what you just said. Go for a walk.
Go for a walk and don't watch the news
And
for a day.
don't watch the news for a day. Brilliant. I hear stories about this all the time. People are like, I don't watch the news. They probably do live a very peaceful, wonderful life.
I feel like I'm somewhat up to date with like what's going on in the world, of course, and there are certain things that you're going to see no matter what. Like you can watch the news or not, you're still going to know about what's going on in the world because of your phone and because of like conversation with people. Wait, where was I going with this? What did you just say?
You were talking about how you get your news or something.
I don't watch the news. But I still know like the big things that are going on in the world. And because honestly, like when I'm like talking to people or like who really watch the news a lot, then I just hear all of this. It's just negative information constantly. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that it has an effect on me. And I don't know if that's just because I'm like more of a sensitive kind of person, but I just try not to, because bad things are going to happen. Since the beginning of time, they've happened, and they're still going to, and they're going to forever. So why like shove it down everyone's throat of like this negative thing and this, because that affects you, and it affects your mindset, it affects your day. At least it does me. At least in like a subconscious level. Mm-hmm. So I just choose to not listen to a lot of it and just make sure I know like the big things that are going on.
Mm-hmm. You're probably right. I mean, stuff has been going on forever. Really, really bad stuff and really good stuff.
Yeah.
The difference is that, Fox News, for example, has only been around for like 25 years. Mm-hmm. Think about that for a second. And CNN, something very similar, I think. Like, there was never this like 24-hour a day in your face news.
Yeah.
You would watch your shows and then at 6 o'clock, read the newspaper in the morning, and at 6 o'clock at night or first thing in the morning, you see your local news, or national news. And then that would be the end of it. And then that's it. Now people, something happened, something shifted, and now in the world, people have to get news constantly. Sometimes I wonder if that is really the underlining problem of what's going on here. Is that we're getting this stuff shoved in our faces constantly, right? By a bunch of companies, by the way, who are controlled by the same thing.
It's all the same people.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And, you know, people, too, have this idea that, you know, Democrats are upset at the Republicans and Republicans say that the Democrats are stupid. And, you know, they're all crooked.
Yeah.
The whole system is crooked.
Yeah, it is.
So you have to really kind of pick and choose where you're. I think we'd be a lot healthier if we would stay away from a lot of the news that we're watching now and stop watching so much of it and sort of, you know, take more breaks.
Yeah,
When we definitely need the dopamine fast.
Yeah.
That was the best idea I've heard in a long time. Dopamine fast.
Idea?
To have a dopamine fast.
Oh, Oh, yes. Like a break.
Yes.
When you said fast, I was thinking like, I don't know.
Dopamine. We need more dopamine.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
was like,
dopamine. Let's go.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just thought that was brilliant. The
I
way
thought
that
so
the way
too,
that he
yeah.
even worded it, I'm like, oh, dopamine fast. It clicked immediately, and I'm like, I should do
Yeah.
that too.
Yep.
That'd be really good.
It would be very helpful.
But then, what if somebody called me and I wasn't available?
Well, then you can reach them tomorrow.
Or get a phone, get a landline phone. Does anybody have those?
Probably.
We could do. Yeah, we could get a phone. You could go to the store and buy a phone. I seen one the other day at the store. You could
Yeah.
get one, plug it into the wall.
Yeah.
Call the phone company. That's how it used to work.
Yeah.
Sometimes before phones like they are now existed, you would have multiple phones in the house and they were all plugged into the wall. What that meant was you could have a phone downstairs and you could have a phone upstairs in a different room, like in your bedroom, let's say. And if you had a teenager, they probably at some point had a phone in their room and then they could get on the phone.
Yeah.
But then that was really, really a good time to live because your kid would be on the phone and you'd be curious as a parent what they were talking about. And you could pick up the phone downstairs and there's a whole trick behind it, by the way. Did you know that?
About listening in?
Yeah, because they can't know. You don't want anybody to know that, because if you just pick up the handle, you hear a click, kind of right? So you put your hand on the receiver, right? And you take your finger and you get ready to hold the button down. So you kind of like do it at the same time as the button's down, right? And then you put the phone up like this, and then you slowly just release the button.
That's terrible.
You do this like this. You just listen. Oh, how are you? I love you. You hang up. Oh, no, you hang up. No, you hang up first. And then you knew exactly what was going on in the life of your daughter. You growing up, on the other hand, it was very difficult.
Oh my
Lots of freedom, lots of phone activity, and all of this kind of stuff. Have you ever seen a cell phone, a car cell phone?
A car phone?
Yeah. No?
No, never. I know Mom had one because she told me.
Yeah,
I
phones.
didn't know what they look like or anything.
Yeah, you could get them portable, but sometimes the cars in the initial stages, like when they first came out, it would be connected to the car.
Okay.
So it was a selling point of that vehicle was
That's so
this new
interesting.
Cadillac's got everything, all the bells and whistles. Got the car phone, it was like this big, this thing. You had to pull it out from the thing and go, oh, hello, while you're driving.
Okay.
Apparently that was okay back then.
Yeah.
It was the size of a big screen TV, Yeah, this is absolutely nuts what's going on right now with screens. So, there's one, what really impressed me was when Peter Farrelly came over and we were doing the show, the idea and stuff. He didn't have his phone. And that was the first guy in the entertainment industry that I've talked to, and I don't know when, who didn't even seem to care. And then it made sense to me later why I would call him and it would be a couple days before he'd get back to me because he would just check his phone every once in a while.
Oh, yeah,
Like he
yeah.
kind of believed that way.
Right.
Being in the entertainment
awesome.
world, but he's kind of a regular guy who just like believes in like
Yeah.
keeping it at bay,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead. What else?
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
I need it. Okay.
Come
Well, okay.
Say what you want to say. I know what you're thinking.
I'm not thinking
I know what you're
anything.
thinking. You could say it. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's totally fine. I said we could talk about anything, so go ahead.
Putting me on the spot and I'm not prepared.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Let me see this. Vessel. I don't know what vessel is.
Vessel? Oh, you're looking at my notes?
Yes.
I wrote down vessel in my notes because we were talking about social media platforms and all the different ones that have come and gone.
Okay.
And the question I was going to ask you about that was, do you think that YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and what we see now is it? Or do you think something else is out there that's going to become bigger than them?
Absolutely. There has to be.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
But it took so long.
It'll probably be from the same people.
Huh?
Like, it'll be like the Meta probably will come up
company?
with a new app, and then it's going to be like all the rage. Have you heard of Be Real? That thing is really big right now.
Well, no. Be Real? What's that?
Yeah, it's an app that's like, I guess it's kind of like Snapchat, but so basically you download the app and you add all your friends, and then at the same time, Be Real will send you a notification that's like, okay, be real, like, and then you have to take your photo like front ways and then back ways, and you have to show exactly what you're doing.
Really?
And then people can just like scroll through their feed. That way it's like, it's like you're being real. Like no filters, no, like you have to post on the spot. It's kind of cool.
I feel like I've heard of stuff like that before.
Oh, really?
I think so. There was
I've
like a
never
thing
heard of
called
that
Marco
before.
Polo or something like that sounded like that.
Oh, that sounds like it would be similar.
Yeah, that's not like that at all. I'm getting
No?
heads shaking back there
Oh.
saying, nope, you're wrong.
Okay, well, I've never heard of Marco
I don't know.
Polo.
I thought I've heard of similar,
But
like
yeah,
a similar
Be Real,
idea.
that's like all the rage right now. I don't have it just because I don't want to pick up another social media app right now. I don't think I have the time
I'm
or
so
energy
sick and
for
tired
it.
of all of it, to be honest
But
with you.
I know a lot of people do have it and they do like it. I mean, I do
Yeah.
like the aspect of it that it's like you can't edit or filter or like post later. You have to like do it in the moment. I do like that aspect, like rather than Instagram where you like take your time and like make sure you're picture perfect, because everyone's lives are like just the highlight reel of their lives.
Right.
Like nothing, it's not really real.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked that about the app. I just didn't get it.
Yeah. There's another one out there called Vine, where you can make these videos. You can make these videos.
And I just heard about MySpace the other day. So
yeah,
it's really cool.
That's right. Vine, that was shocking. It was so big. Mm-hmm. That was shocking when that tanked.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it?
That tanked quick.
I know. You know,
I thought that was going to stick around.
I know. It still exists as like a. Have you ever been
Like a
there?
website or
Vine.com.
something?
Yeah, it's like to make
Yeah.
videos or something, but it's not a social media thing.
Yeah.
On our TV show, this is very, very embarrassing for me to say, but I watched the scene the other day on our reality show where I made a huge deal about being verified on Vine.
Oh.
Do you remember this?
On the show you did?
It was a segment because it happened while they were filming.
Oh, okay.
And so I went
it was
absolutely
exciting at the
ballistic.
time.
It was, but it's so embarrassing to go back and watch me going, oh my, I just got verified on Vine. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you idiot.
I think that's fine. Vine was huge. And people still, like the big Viners at the time, are still making videos now.
Oh, it was a major
I don't
thing.
think that's something to be embarrassed about. I would have felt the same way.
Isn't that where Marcus Johns started?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is Cody
so.
Johns, that's his brother or something like that? Or is that somebody else?
Maybe. I forget.
But you remember Marcus Johns?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He comes into my work sometimes with his wife and kid.
Okay, so that was Vine. He
Yeah.
was from Vine. Mm-hmm. And then what happened to those guys? Like
I
all
think
the Vine,
they all like took up YouTube and like vlogging,
just other
and
things, right?
Instagram Reels and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
See-
you just have to move.
Yeah.
With like what everyone
But
else
see
is
what
doing.
I mean? It's so weird. So Vine just like tanked, and then all of a sudden, and then Musically was a big deal, and then Musically turned to TikTok,
Yeah,
and then now what the heck is next? What's going to happen?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
I don't know, but I saw this one guy getting famous on TikTok right now for doing vines. Like the caption was creating Vine ideas that I had but never posted, and so he's posting 6-second videos on TikTok that were supposed to be vines, and he's getting famous.
Oh wow! It's almost like nostalgic, probably
Yeah.
for people. Like, oh, that's just like that's
Yep, yeah.
that's not a bad idea. That's a
Right.
good idea. TikTok, I'm not a big fan of. I know it's an important thing to add to your folder of things
It
that you're supposed to
is.
do, but
It
it's you never know what to expect, and you got to scroll, and the minute somebody says something off color, you got to look at the kids, and you got to you don't know, like it's everything. It's just everything.
It is everything.
You
in
can't
the app.
really filter it, right? I don't like
I mean,
that.
it picks up on what you like on your For You page. It'll know like how long you watched a video, like which ones you're liking, and it'll send you like-minded videos.
Yeah.
So it's it's not like you're going to be like, oh, what is this? Like I would,
Yeah.
it's going to show you stuff you like.
Since you said the word like-minded, that was the name of our show. Did you know that?
Like-minded was the name of what show?
Like-minded individuals was the name. Remember I said we
With
called
Peter Farrelly?
Yeah, we called it the Flock.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the Flock was fun because it was kind of like sort of alluded to that it would be a church,
Yeah.
And a bunch of sheep
Oh, okay.
following the leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't they liked it at first, but then somebody at Fox I think was like, we think like-minded individuals would be a better title. Tighter title. I thought so too. We liked it.
Okay.
We liked it.
Did nothing ever happen with that?
With the show?
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's an interesting story in itself, actually.
Oh, okay.
So we were so excited to sell the show to Fox, and then all of a sudden, there's this. Actually, what happened was exactly what happened in this one episode of Seinfeld a long time ago. Jerry got a TV show in Seinfeld. Okay, and they were excited, and they were casting, they were writing, they got the script, everything was great, right? So they go in, and they actually get to the point where they shoot the pilot. It's a big deal. And they got actors, and Jerry played himself, and everybody else was cast around it. So it was kind of fun watching those episodes where they were developing the show because you were also watching Seinfeld.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Developing a show about Seinfeld.
Right.
Well, after the pilot aired, something happens to the president of NBC. He takes off. The lady comes back. This other lady takes the role of where this guy left off at. And she says, hey, Jerry, sorry, we're cutting the show. It's not in our plan of action here or whatever. And then they just cancel the show.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
That's what happened with yours?
That is what happened.
Man.
Somebody
like,
left
reason?
on,
what was the...
Yeah, somebody left on like a maternity leave or something.
Okay, just
and then they were supposed to come back.
Yeah.
And they never came back.
Okay.
And somebody else jumped in and said, meh, pull the plug.
Yeah, not worth it.
I'm like, geez.
That's crazy. That's crazy how that happens, because I feel like that happens a lot too with different pilots and stuff, just not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you something funny. We were just interviewing Lee the other day, and we were watching the movie with her that she's in, and you weren't there.
Okay.
And there's a line in the movie in the theater, and one of the lines is, do you have any idea what it's like when, it was something like, do you have any idea what it's like when a reality TV show pulls a plug on you and you're no more? Or something like that. I'm like, we all just looked at each other and went, oh, yeah, we kind of do. We actually do. Nobody else in the theater would be able to say that except us. We're like, oh, yeah, it really sucks,
Yeah, actually empathizing with the character.
Yeah, because it really was like that. Hey, Micah, how long are we?
We're now.
Huh? We're at about an hour? All right, beautiful. This was a really, really fun conversation.
Yeah,
it's
all
one
over the place.
Yeah,
But they all tied in with each other.
Yeah, it was really good actually, and I think it would be really fun in the future to do more of a deep dive into the screen stuff.
Yeah.
And even get somebody, some kind of a specialist or something like that to come and give us all these facts and everything, and stuff.
That would be cool. Let's do that.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Jack Vale Show with
Madysyn.
and we will see you next time.
See ya.